So far, we've got a repository on GitLab, and we've cloned that to a remote computer. So we've got a Git repository. We've been able to add things. We've been able to stage things for a commit, and we've been able to commit things. Git is a piece of software. Git is a tool that will help us keep track of the changes that we make to things over time. Git is not the same thing as GitLab, and Git is not the same thing as GitHub. GitLab and GitHub are different pieces of software that will let us do interacting with a Git repository in a web browser. And a lot of the things that we're learning about GitLab are also going to be true for GitHub. But Git is its own thing. Git's completely its own thing. What I want to do right now is take some time to clone a repository that's public, available on something like GitHub, with the idea that maybe someday you're going to be told, hey, here's this cool piece of software that you need to do your job or is going to help you with something. And you're going to have to clone it to your own machine so that you can start to do things like build it, taking advantage of the things that we looked at last time in terms of compiling and running software. So the first thing that I want to do here is I want us to try to clone something, but with an address that's been given to us. So what we're going to clone is the same work that we were using last time for compiling and running code on the command line. So we're going to run git. We're going to use the subcommand clone. And the thing that we need to give to clone is the same thing that we gave to clone last time. We need to give the address. I'm going to tell you what the address is this time. So the address this time is https://code.cs.umanitoba.ca cslabcourse/hello. This is the same code that you downloaded on the command line using wget, but it's in a Git repository this time. So if I change directory to hello, so I'm typing in HE and then tab, pressing enter. If I type ls here, these are the directories that we saw last time in terms of once we got that zip file and unzipped it, everything's the same here. If I run tree in this directory, we can see that these are the same files that we saw the last time we were working with this. The thing that makes this directory different about other directories that we've been working with is that if I do ls and then -a, so list everything that's in this directory, there's a couple of extra directories that we can't see when we just type ls or when we run tree. The first one is /. Dot is the special directory that says this is this directory. So when we do things like cp and then dot, or we do mv move and dot, we're saying move it to this directory or copy it to this directory. Dot is actually just a special directory that appears in all directories that says this directory. Dot, so remember this was if we change directory dot, we're moving to the parent directory, and this actually appears as a directory in the directory that we're in. And that's kind of like this recursive crazy idea, but that's kind of the way that Linux and Unix systems are structured. That means that everything that starts with a dot or a period is hidden when we type in ls like this. But there's this special directory that's called .git. If I change it to .git, what we're going to see here is that there's other folders and other files in here. This is what makes a directory a repository, that this .git folder exists inside of it. And if I were to take a look at, for example, this head file, so less is a program that's called a pager. It's going to let us interact with text files. If I type in less head, or if I type in cat head, this is going to print out what's inside this file. And what's inside this file is a line that says refs head main. We don't need to know what that actually means, but all that this really means is that inside this Git directory is just a bunch of other files and folders. That's the only thing that makes this a Git repository. The other way that we're going to interact with Git in this case is that I want to be able to take a look at cloning public repositories. So these are repositories that exist on the internet in places like GitHub. And so what we're going to start with here is I want to start at the web page for this course. So we're going to start by taking a look at the web page for this course. And what we're going to do here is I want to go to the source code for this project. So at the beginning of this textbook, it says you can find the GitHub repository for this textbook here. I'm going to click on this link, and this will take us to GitHub. So GitHub functionally is the same thing as GitLab. GitLab is functionally the same thing as GitHub. The thing that I want to do here is I want to clone the repository. If you take a look at this, you can actually take a look at everything that's in the course textbook. So if I click on topic 2 here, we're going to see all of the markdown that I've written for this work, and you can take a look at everything that's in this textbook. I want to clone this repository to our system right now. And with GitHub, the way that we do that is we can either copy the address of the page that we're on, or alternatively, we can click on this copy URL to clipboard under the green code button. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to switch back now to my terminal. And once we're in our terminal, we're going to be able to clone the repository that we've got here. So here we are at our terminal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change out of this directory. So cd ... I'm going to say git clone. I'm going to paste that directory. So this will copy the entire thing. There's a lot more here than there is for the Hello World one. This textbook is something that's we've been working on for a couple of years at this point. And so there's lots of different changes and lots of files here. But if I change directory to tools and techniques, what you can see is everything that's there. So this week we're looking at topic 4. This is Fortnite 4. And the specific topic that we're looking at right now is topic 2. So this is cloning repositories that already exist. So now that we've got these repositories on our system, now we're going to be able to start to do things like thinking about cloning, thinking about branching and merging within a Git repository. That's it.